I've seen Jesus play with flames in a lake of fire that I was standing in. I met the devil in Seattle, spent 9 months inside the lion's den. Met Buddha yet another time, showed me the glowing light within. But I swear that God is there every time I glare into the eyes of my best friend.
Hello, all my beautiful friends. So, this one's gonna be, well, it's gonna be a lot like the last couple of ones, where I've been very subtle, been trying to tell you all that I most likely don't think like any of you do. And that's not a bad thing, because we should all think for ourselves, whether you believe thinking is real or not. That's what this whole discussion is going to be about, is how some of us think that, oh, there is no such thing as thought. There is no such thing as this and no such thing as that. It's all a dream, or it's all a nightmare, or it's all this, it's all that. Whatever spiritual woo-woo you're believing in currently, which will change because it changes for all of us. See, there is no end point in this game, in this walk. There's no aha moment like you would think there is. There is definitely aha moments. There is definitely an enlightenment stage, quote unquote. But when you get to it, it's not what you think it is. And it's actually good that it's not what you think it is. Because a lot of people think that they'll know all the secrets. They'll come to some kind of conclusion that they'll be as enlightened as Buddha or Eckhart Tolle or something like that. But you won't. You'll be as enlightened as yourself chose to be. What I'm getting at is, this whole thing, it's the snake biting his own tail. And I'm starting to realize that it's been that way since the beginning of my current experience, at least. That for the first 40 years, I didn't believe in anything. And then I turned to believing in something. And it may have been misguided, or I might have read it wrong, talking about Christianity. But other walks too, because I studied more than just Christianity. But those all pointed me towards something else, something greater, something beyond the books, beyond the churches, beyond the opinion of man. They pointed me towards my own opinion, what I believed. Not what somebody told me I should believe, but what I believe. And so I got into the spiritual walk, into the I am God and I am one with everything and there is no self and there is no reality. I got into that walk. And I've been on that walk for probably about 3 years now. But that walk's coming to an end as well, because I realize it's just a snake biting its own tail. It's just turtles all the way down. It's infinite regress. Because I realize that all it is opinions. I use that against Christianity. I use that against other ways of thought. I use that against nihilism. I use that against my atheist friends. And I've realized that I never pointed the finger once at the spiritual woo-woo community, because they're doing the same thing. And I'm pretty sure that this is the same conclusion that the quote-unquote OG YHS came up with. I imagine he came to this truth as well, that it's just another snake biting its tail. Now listen, I'm not trying to piss any of you off, okay? I'm sure I've done that in a few videos, but, you know, it's YouTube, so you have the choice not to listen. And many of you won't even get past the 2-minute mark like you don't on most of the videos. And I'm not being pessimistic or nihilistic when I say that, but I mean, the stats don't lie. The numbers have gone down significantly on this channel. And I imagine it's because I'm not posting spiritual woo-woo anymore. And that's fine. But there are a few of you that will actually listen to this. And so let me continue. There's nothing wrong with seeking externally for what you may consider truth, as long as you understand that it's not your truth. As long as you understand that you may like to read about things or watch videos about things that interest you. But as long as you don't allow that man's truth to be your own truth, you can keep doing so. The problem lies is when you accept that truth as your own without verifying it yourself, whether through whatever you want to do, meditation, whatever you want to do to verify it. Now, that's not to say that in my 51 years, I haven't taken another man's truth and ran with it. I definitely have, but I've never taken another man's truth and accepted it as my own until I actually used it in a trial and error and made sure it was factual, or that it rang true to my subjective reality. I've obviously been duped. I was duped by Christianity. I was duped by a few others, and I was duped by spirituality. I was duped into believing that there's something more outside of me that's controlling all this, or that I need to reach this next goal to be a better person or a better self or a better interdimensional being of some sort. I realized that all these things, all these other truths aren't my truth. And my truth is this: it doesn't matter what somebody tells me to do in a spiritual video or what some book tells me to do as far as my life goes and whether I'm sinning or not. The only thing that truly matters is what matters to me, whether there's a me or not, whether none of this is real, whether I'm just a thought in some frog's head in a distant galaxy. It doesn't matter. Because what does matter is what I know, what I feel is correct, what I feel is morally right, ethically right, is a path worth choosing. Only what I feel on the inside is what I need to worry about. Again, not getting into the argument with the I, there is no I and all that. See, a lot of the folks that I, at least once, twice, 3 times a week, I'll see something saying, oh, you're not that, you're not this. Criticizing the videos. And that's fine. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me any more than when somebody writes a good comment. I have no real direct feeling with it. What I'm getting at is it doesn't matter what you bring to me. It doesn't matter what book you bring. It doesn't matter what ancient wisdom you think you know. It doesn't matter what Eckhart Tolle says or any of the other spiritual woo-woo videos and channels that you guys keep watching and just eat it up. It doesn't matter, because none of that speaks any more factual truth than anything that the Bible has ever given me. There is no factual proof. But I've had this experience, and I was on LSD, and I saw God, and I saw a spiritual being, and I met my higher self. Yep, and many a Christian has had that same near-death experience. But there's no factual proof. You can listen to 1,000 near-death experience videos. Say 1,000 of them are all based on a Christian's view, what he saw. Another 1,000 are based on what an atheist saw, and another 1,000 are based on what a spiritual. The point of that being is, if there's a separation between those experiences, that means that there is no singular truth. They can't come back from that near-death and say, oh, this is the truth, because they can't say that because somebody experienced something completely different. That's why in one of our recent videos that none of you guys watched, we talked about how there's only one truth, and religion is not it, because no singular religion can claim to be the one truth if there is, by logic, other religions claiming the same thing. So therefore, one spiritual woo-woo method isn't any more truthful than the next spiritual woo-woo method, because there's many truths. See where I'm getting at? So many people, including myself, have been sucked into believing that there's something more by taking the spiritual path. Whatever you want to call it. I don't even know why I've called it a path and a walk this whole time. Because all it was another maze, just like the rest of them. And it all led me back to the same place. And that same place is this: the answers are not outside of you. Okay? They'll never be outside of you. You can follow along with what people say, this channel included. But as we've always said in our videos, even the ones that we recreated from the original YHS, is never allow our truth to be your truth. Unfortunately, there's a lot more followers in this world than there are leaders in this world. So many of you will keep following what you hear and never once try to lead yourself. And I weep for you at night. There is no truth except for your own truth. It is simple as that. And I just got done telling you, don't allow my truth to be your truth. So you have to find out if what I'm saying is true. Or you can just scroll on through and pass right by it and keep searching and say, oh, another 1,000 videos, another 15 mantras every morning, another meditative state for an hour and a half that doesn't really lead to anything. I can't ever really get rid of my thoughts. You just keep doing that. Or you can realize that there is no other truth than the truth that you have right now in your own subjective reality. No matter what you believe, no matter if you believe any of this is real or it's all make-believe and you're just floating on a cloud somewhere, it doesn't matter. Because all you're doing, all that is your ego trying to control the moment, trying to say, oh yeah, we're not really here. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. We got to keep searching. It's because the ego has control of the moment. The ego will grasp you in spirituality just as fast as any other part of your regular life. if you are an atheist or a religion, Christianity, I met plenty of Christians that were filled with Christianity or egotism in Christianity. I've met plenty of people on the spiritual woo-woo path that are filled with it just as much. Usually those 1 to 3 comments that I get a week are people that are just raising their spiritual ego so high that, I know the answer, brother. You don't know jack shit, bro. Sorry, that slipped, but it's true. He doesn't. And neither do I. All I know is what I know. Whether any of this is real or not doesn't matter. The only thing that truly matters is that it's what I know. That's it. I don't know what anybody else knows. I'll never understand. I may be able to comprehend what another tells me, but I'll never understand how they came to that conclusion. You can if you want to debate them or if you want to study them all your life, but you will find that that is a waste of time because all you're going to find out in the long run is probably that he was trying to tell you the same thing I'm trying to tell you right now. The only truth that you should live by is your own truth. If none of this is real, but you're not going to try to escape, or if maybe you're one of those commenters that say, oh, I'm going to break out of the matrix. Unless you're actively trying to do that, unless you're actively trying to break out of the matrix, good luck, Neo. But unless you're actually trying to do that, which, whatever, that's your thing. There's 2 options here, folks, okay? You can say that, okay, none of this is real, and this is all a dream of Maya, this is all an illusion, blah, blah, this is the Brahmin dream, this is whatever you want to call it, whatever, it doesn't matter. And you can either say to yourself, well, I'm going to try to break out. Well, for all you know, you could break out of this matrix, this simulation, or this non-reality, and you think you're going to, like, maybe become one with consciousness and God and whatever you want to call it. But the real fact is, for all you know, you'll end up in another simulation where you're worse off than you already were. It's infinite regress all the way down, turtles all the way down, for all you know. So your only other option is to say, okay, well, none of this is real, and there's no self, there's no other people really here, blah, blah, blah. What can I do? Well, the only thing you can do is keep doing what you're already doing, but instead change it. Instead of worrying about what society thinks, what your friends and family think, what your friends on Facebook think, what other TikTokers think, what any spiritual guru thinks, don't worry about any of that crap and only worry about you. And that's it. Don't worry about good. Don't worry about bad. Have your own moral compass. If you're already a good moralistic person, you have a moral compass and you say, okay, well, I think this is a bad decision. Don't go to YouTube looking for answers if it's a bad decision. Trust your instinctual gut. Trust your higher self. That's what it all boils down to. This whole thing was a test to see if I would remember who I was. And I have. And I pray that you will. But if you continue to look for your higher self through someone else's version of a higher self, you will not, I repeat, you will not come to this realization, this awakening, this, if you want to use the word enlightenment. Stop worrying about what's outside of you. People, voices, YouTube videos, TikTok, books, opinions, advice, all that. Start thinking about what is inside you. And don't use meditation. Don't use mantras. Don't use any of that crap. Just sit alone in silence. Don't worry about watching your breathing. Don't worry about whether you got candles lit. Just sit alone in silence and just talk to yourself. And I guarantee you, I promise you, the answers will start coming. Because we all, even in religion, they make it sound like it has to be so hard. It has to be so difficult to come to the conclusion of God and me, blah, blah. Well, the woo-woos do the same thing because they want you to keep coming back to their videos and their books and their seminars and their guru retreats. They want you to keep coming back, just like the religions want you to keep coming back. They don't want you to know that you can do it on your own. You can do it on your own. But the only way to do it on your own is by getting rid of all the bullshit that stands in the way of you and your higher self and just sitting down in silence and talking to yourself. And let me break it down to you about how simple it really is. See, it's not that you got to sit down and think about how you can better yourself or how can I get in touch with my higher self or how can I become aware. It's none of that. What you have to do is you have to sit down and you have to start questioning everything that you thought you knew for the past whatever how many years you are old. And you start questioning society and you start questioning law and you start questioning all the programming and conditioning that they put every one of us through. Whether you were born in the United States or you live in a hut in Africa, you were probably programmed in one way or another. You were programmed by your tribal standards. You were programmed by your government standards. You were programmed by the church. So many people in this country think that when I say that that you were programmed by the church. I wasn't in a religious family. Did you go to school every day and pledge allegiance to the flag? It is inside of all of us, okay? And I'm not putting it on religion, but what I'm saying is when you start questioning these things, you start to realize that, yeah, it is all a game. It is all some kind of weird, messed up, diabolical test. But you could try to escape it by watching a million YouTube videos and 1,000 TikTok videos and reading a bunch of Eckhart Tolle, or you can just accept it, but change yourself. Change what's inside of you, not what's around you, but what's inside of you. And that's it. You're saying, well, it's not that easy. I live in a bad area. I live in the hood, or I live out in the middle of a war zone, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But all they can do is kill you. That's all they can do to you. That's it. And guess what? That's going to happen eventually. Stop making excuses why you don't want to find out what I'm trying to tell you, because that's what a lot of you are doing. You're saying, no, it's out there. You're a crackpot. You don't know what you're talking about. It's still out there. It's not out there. It's not out there. This is my higher self's voice talking, trying to reach into your soul, into your higher self and saying, it's time to come out, brother or sister. It's time to awaken your soul to realize that everything they have been feeding us is propaganda and is their truth, not your truth. There will be no more propaganda on this channel. The only thing that will remain from this day forward will be my thoughts on how I think this whole thing works and how, if any experience I've ever had may be able to help you. It'll be real talks from here on out. Some of them might be ego. I don't care. Over almost a year and a half now, this channel's been up. We brought to people what we try to bring back the original YHS videos. We did a pretty good damn job of it, I think. And we also did it so that we could raise money to feed starving people all over the world. And we did that. We did about $3,000 worth of that, which fed a lot of people. And I appreciate any of you that ever donated to that cause. Any member of this channel, I appreciate you because you donated to that cause. But now the numbers are dwindling and the money's running down. And while we'll keep doing our own thing, we're asking that you, whether you believe it's real or not, you think before you spend that $3 on a cup of coffee, who that may help around the world or even in your own city. I love all of you. And I don't know you, and I'll probably never meet any of you. But I love you because you're another part of me. I don't know how to explain that, and I'm sick and tired of looking for reasons or how-tos to explain it. Because all that would be is another man's truth. All I know that my truth is that you are a part of me. And so I spread this message. I ask you to stop looking externally. Go within. I love you all. I pray that you walk in light. And I pray that you understand what I mean when I have been saying that one line for the last year and a half, to walk in light.
Said my son, it's all been done. Someday you're gonna wake up old and gray. So go and try to have some fun, showing warmth to everyone you meet and greet and cheat along the way. There's a gateway in our minds that leads somewhere far beyond this plane.